you see a red thread for this Simply 2-based lineup? Two heroes I think I haven't seen since I got here to cover NA. Tide and Silencer being picked in the first three. Are they just, you know, Hail Mary, let's try something fun, or is there some logic behind this that the panel didn't see?
I'm
putting you on the spot here.
The panel already explained it pretty well as I try to bail out of explaining any of this. But again, I always fall back to comparisons to other regions. But in China, the Tide had found itself a good spot for a little while. Early Ags trying to do what it can in the off lane. Mid, we'll see. The Silencer, normally always a 5 in China as well. So I'm really interested to see what the Silencer is going to do and how much it can accomplish. It seemed very confident that the panel was saying simply 2-base, definitely, and I'll follow them. I'll go right there with them. I think it's a major outdraft. I'll use none of my own words, so I can't be hit hard afterwards.
Oh, look at this, Ryoya off lane. They're putting the stand-in mid against Quinn. Ryoya had enough after game number 1, and they want to mix it up. So Curly gets the honor of playing against one of the lane kings of NA and Quinn mid. Void Spirit against Invoker. Ryoya off lane Tide, I think. Nope, he's going to the safe lane, as a matter of fact, to lane against Timbersaw Rubik. Wait, am I
heading back?
Okay, he is. Okay, I think I may have misclicked a little bit there and seen the wrong movement, but he was trying to avoid the Timbersaw, I think, and heading back.
he was heading towards top. They were swapping, and then now they're going back. It's musical lanes, but when it takes this long to show up to lane, it never feels that great, does it?
No, you're going to be starting at a pretty meaningful deficit here. Tiny's already up half a level on you with even creeps. Obviously, Marana will have soaked a lot of that experience, but you really want Tiny to get fast level 2 or 3 here so he can kind of sustain the non-stop harassment that this Bane is going to be outputting into him. Did skill Gush level 1 Ryoya, but they don't have arrow ready just yet, so can't really commit for the kill as Flea already arrowed the range creep. Mid lane Quinn is destroying Curly right now on the CS. There will be a lot of creeps pushing into him though, so he can catch up, but currently 9-0 on Quinn. Very good first waves for a Quaswex Invoker. Got 10 out of 12 creeps. Good start.
That is very impressive, and Curly, you gotta wonder what's going through his mind right now as he's not only standing in, but having to go up against Quinn. That's I feel like a very stressful position for a stand-in to just be put into.
I wonder how the comms went down.
For having fun.
Yeah. But whose suggestion was this? I want to know who suggested we just swap this. Oh, Curly's in trouble. Fairy Fire popped. One more hit from Quinn.
Oh.
All right, he'll dissimulate that one.
He just avoided it. Everywhere is getting a little interesting. Empyrean almost died top 2.
He's getting bullied mid, though. This is an absolute stomping. He'll get at least a Water Rune to refill his bottle, so a bit of a saving grace there as Quinn. If it wasn't for Water Runes, he would have sent the Void Spirit back to base there, but at least now Curly gets to go back and lane for a bit, at least. We'll see if Quinn can keep up that pressure. But like you said, the other lane's also looking great for Quincy. The tiny top CS. Timber sitting on 9. We'll be reaching level 3 sometime soon, and then I wonder what they're going to do with Milan, if he's just going to leave the Timber alone. I think you can easily survive this on level 3 as Timber saw with 0-1 build, or 0-1-2, excuse me, Empyrean. Taking some beating again.
Some damage. Well, you can see though that the Silencer doesn't let it happen just for free, right? Like that early Arcane Curse, only level 1 at the moment, but it does make it so Empyrean can kind of get under the tower and feel slightly safer.
Yeah, Empyrean actually finding level 3 here.
Yeah, I had the lane solo for a moment when the Silencer and the Tide didn't know where they were going. Hadn't figured out the game plan just yet. Yep. I want to say they almost drew straws.
It's just so unheard of for a stand-in to go and replace this lane after game 1. I don't remember having seen something like that ever before, so it's just interesting if nothing else. Curly put in some decent harassment to Quinn, but he's more than fine still. And this could be first blood we're watching right now. It is.
Yeah, they're going to lose the Silencer. It's Kezu who gets credit for that kill, and continually running down Empyrean as he's got the stick charges if he wants to throw the Fade Bolt. He just needs one more right click, goes the right way to try and spot Empyrean, and ooh, it's this stick there for Crystal Maiden that keeps him alive.
Yeah, Milan giving away the fact that there's a ward here, or there's no vision for that attack, so now Empyrean will know that, but he doesn't know whether it's on the left or on the right of the tower. He's going to have to gamble the 50-50 unless he can find a way to be certain. Good pressure onto Yawar, but you will back off.
CS, look at this, racking up 25 and 10 for Yawar already, and 27 and 4 for Quinn. And the last game, the lanes went so well for Quincy crew. It feels like it's going even better this time.
Yep. We're playing against some less characteristic laners of the patch right now, so that will at least in part explain it. But this mid lane does not go like this on paper. Invoker against Void Spirit is, I think at worst for Void Spirit, if the players played evenly, a draw. And I think Void Spirit can sometimes come out ahead in that lane by a decent amount even. But just a class difference, at least on display in this game from Quinn in that mid lane. And he's going to keep it up. Curly again, just being bullied out of lane. Has to use all his bottles now.
He's been fortunate enough to stay as close as he can to the lane because of the water runes. Up top, telekinesis, timber chain across. Empyrean taking a lot of damage. But again, they've tried to stop Kezu from running them down. But unfortunately, with the help of Milan, they're able to get at least one. And the Arcane Curse isn't going to do enough yet. They talked about how the Silencer kind of needed to get that intelligence and start to get smarter and smarter as the game went on, but the Silencer not being the benefactor of any intelligence just yet. 2k behind, 2-0 in kills as well.
Well, they're going to try again onto Kezo up here with the bit of harass they have. Crystal Nova's going to miss just barely short. All right, this will be a kill on Quinn. He got the, didn't actually get the rune even. Good rotation from Flea, combining with that Aether Remnant.
And getting the Aether Remnant, having the combination to get that kill on a Quinn, that's where you're going to sustain yourself just a little bit. The CS doesn't look great, but when you can get a kill there on the Invoker, that at least is a motivational boost for sure.
I think what you should try to do now as simply TOOBASED is to look for an Invoker kill again, if possible. You have a double damage on Void Spirit. You know Invoker is more than likely going to TP mid with this big wave. So if you could make this play once over with your double damage, that would be big. Ryoya being blocked up by Yawar. Don't think there's going to be a kill here, except Ponlo will probably...
here.
He will have enough with Ponlo, I think. Yeah, now he will.
And Nightmare, and just waiting for the right click to get the kill. Instead, just toss him up into the air. Meanwhile, mid, like you said, they want to go for the Invoker, and they'll get Quinn again. That's the back-to-back kills you were talking about, and that's exactly what they secure.
Let this sink in for a second. They killed Quinn twice, and he's still ahead in net worth of the Void Spirit. Even though Void Spirit got both of the kills. That is how big the discrepancy was in mid. It's kind of unheard of, but now they've equalized that lane. Now there's a potential for plays for Curly here. I imagine maybe you send out some phase boots here and just really try to play it fast. You could also start building into a Witchblade if you want to go that route, or Boots of Travel is what certain players would get. I wouldn't recommend it in this matchup today. I think you have to play the less greedy route and just really try to fight with any sort of value you can get immediately and stem the bleeding, basically. So phase would probably be my suggestion here, and he is queuing that up, so I like that. Good choice.
Wonder if they could kill Quinn a third time, just get under his skin and tilt him out.
Yep, make him run down mid.
We picked up the haste through. Now they're going to look over at Quinn again, but they do have both supports here for the side of Quincy crew. They bring over Flea. They've got the Nightmare out onto Curly. Telekinesis slamming him down. Nightmare pulled by the Mirana. They do get Empyrean, and they'll look for Flea, who is out of leap charges, so he is looking like he might die. The urn is there, and the urn will tick him out. So Quinn getting the kill on a Flea, and it ends up being 2 dead on the side of Simply TOOBASED.
And it looks like they're not done yet. They want to NATO off this haste and then rotate in with the Rubik. Good damage from Curly, but not enough. He's
and now the EMP tornado, he's dead. Oh yeah, and the TPs are just a little bit too late. Maybe enough to get Punlo, but if you lose anybody else here making this rotation, it's certainly not going to feel that great because you have brought everybody in the kitchen sink to go for this. Meanwhile, that just leaves Kezu to do whatever he wants over top, and we've seen what free farming Timbers can do.
Like, Quinn was tired of getting bullied mid, so he called some friends. They showed up with... He called in the whole gang, and he got a triple kill. Good dodge. He's still dead, though.
He still might just die, yeah.
All right.
Tornado comes out, and it's nicely placed, but it doesn't matter to keep Quinn alive, at least. But now they're going to look to get the rest of telekinesis. They'll get Empyrean. Now they look for Fleet again. He's got one more leap charge if he wakes up, but the Nightmare is everlasting, and, well, Ponlo being a bit of a dream eater there.
This is actually a teaser for an upcoming game mode, 3v3 mid, that you can queue for soon in Dota. Basically what's going on in this game. I think there's been like 6 heroes mid for the last 2.5 minutes. Quinn got tired of getting ganked. Everybody shows up. They just have their Tide on one side, Timber on the other. They're just chilling, free farming, and all of the action is in mid. So pretty funny stuff. This is a very unusual sight in Dota to have this many heroes mid this early. It was meta for a while, as a matter of fact, but going back a couple years for that one.
Just a party over mid to secure the runes and everything, and you come over at like that 4-minute mark or that 3.5-minute mark, and you're just making the mid lane a 3v3.
Yeah, there was, I'm trying to remember which, there was one specific tournament that stood out where the teams were sometimes dual laning mid and then also roaming on it. It was meta for a while to do that with like Lich dual lanes when he still had Sacrifice. Some IO dual lanes were being played double mid. I seem to remember a lot of Morphling dual mid as well as the core of that component, right? Kezu, gonna get arrowed.
Go for Kezu. Yeah, they've got 4 heroes here, and the Nightmare is enough to keep him alive for a second, but the last right click coming in from
okay.
Fleet, so they get both.
10 stolen in on Silencer. We're getting there.
Starting to build up those numbers. Now they look over at Yawar, the toss over, as well as the Avalanche, just to try and make some space, but doesn't, for a second, didn't look like the Silencer wanted to stop off that. Back in the top lane, though, Tornado comes out. Quinn trying to do it again. He's taking the mana away from Fleet and Empyrean. The Fade Bolt from Milan to get the kill. Aether Remnant lands and locks up the Invoker. Astral Step across the bow of both these heroes. Fiend's Grip now on to Curly, who is out of mana, but does have 12 charges on that wand. So we'll see if he can keep himself safe. He does have enough for an Astral Step, but he goes into the Dissimulate instead. It goes the other way, still hit by the Cold Snap. Wants to run away with a sip on the bottle, but the Tornado EMP back down with the Chakram. Astral Step again. So he is taking a lot of the time of Quincy crew to try and get this kill.
Really?
Astral Step is up once more and he gets away.
He actually lived. Nicely done. Definitely a better showing. Isn't it funny that Simply TOOBASED after that game when they're just like, you know what, guys, like let's just play something totally different. We put our standard mid, we move things around. Like by all means, they're definitely far behind in this game, but last game at this point, I think it was a 6 or 7k gold lead for Quincy crew. So this is a bit of a curveball, at least, is yielding results. It's becoming an improvement. They're still struggling, but it's definitely a more entertaining game than the last one, if nothing else.
That's not using your simple cookie cutter standard draft either. Like they're definitely having fun with it, and when you can play without being so tense, maybe that's the best opportunity you give yourself, especially in a matchup like this. Avalanche comes in, arrow lands on a Ponlo, but they get the kill out onto the Silencer very quickly. Dissimulate, but right over next to Kezu. Maybe had the opportunity to go up onto the high ground. He'll Astral Step again, but with the Cold Snap and the Timber Chain, Curly falls. He'll join Mo and Larry in the grave.
And they're going to get their Ancient Stack stolen here by Tiny and Timber. So nicely prepared there earlier for their off-lane Tide, and he's going to see it all crumble between his fingers. Ponlo. Well, that's a very short maiden ult, but did set them up.
Hey, he's got a Ravage, and that's exactly what he's going to do. That lands on a 3. They've got the Silencer coming back into the fight. Yawar comes over from the side. They'll trade Pongo for Fully. It's the Global Silence used, and Yawar looking over at both the Silencer as well as the Tide, but doesn't quite have enough to go after them, and instead will TP to the top lane while they take care of Empyrean with the rest of the team.
This is one of those games where I would be really interested to just, you know, pause and ask the players what they think the gold graph looks like. Like, I wonder, because, you know, sometimes we just take it for granted when we're watching. It's like, yeah, this team is far ahead. They know what's going on, etc., etc. But I really wonder how accurately they could pinpoint what the game state is when there's been this much chaos. I think it's hard to keep track of exactly what's going on. Nice tornado during the Ravage. They're effectively negating it. They couldn't connect on it because all 3 heroes were nadoed, and Silencer couldn't global because he was TPing in, I believe, so couldn't cover it fully.
Yeah, so, you know, even in a fight like that, it does feel pretty close. I kind of agree. I wonder where they would think that this game is sitting net worth-wise, but these fights still look like it can certainly happen for Simply TOOBASED. They're going to go after Kezu once again, and they will silence him up. They're doing a lot of damage, but not enough damage as the deafening blast comes through. Quinn trying to save the Timbers. The Arcane Curse finally runs out, and they just don't have the sustainable damage to get the kill onto the Timber just yet. As the Nightmare now onto the Silencer. Cold Snap there. Arcane Curse once again, but that's still not going to get Kezu. And the Fiend's Grip comes out onto Curly. That stopped via the Arrow, the Astral Step, as well as the Dissimulate in there. The Stolen Ravage coming through. And they will take out Curly. Empyrean will fall, and 3 heroes are dead on the side of Simply TOOBASED.
And Yawar kills a courier. He also wants to be a part of the fun. He's been in 2 out of 16 kills. He's just been, you know, having a field day while his team has been tearing up the opponent this whole time. Well, let's see if he wants to get more involved now with his Blink Echo Saber working on the Shard 15 minutes in. We're going to see a replay of that. So nice arrow there from Flea, at least stopping that grip, but they didn't really get anything out of it.
Stolen Ravage coming in. Helps them clean up the other 2. Milan pretty involved. Oh,
I'm going to go out on a limb and say this is not what happened right then, but that is from earlier. But I don't know for a fact. It could be a really good gaming chair that has reached a level of sentience that it can just play on its own.
That or Milan's a superhero that has telekinetic powers, and he's controlling it while also giving his cat the efficient attention.
I'm going to go with that. I think that's more likely. Uh-oh.
Blink Ravage onto Quinn. They've got the arrow to follow it up. Quinn in trouble. Tornado out, and Ryoya will get credit for the kill, but here's the Avalanche with the blink coming out from Yawar. Wants to get the kill onto the Silencer. They come over, but the Whirling Death misses. Ulti from Empyrean. They've got the global silence. They'll kill off Yawar, and now they will look for this Timber. Ponglo from behind finishes off the Silencer. The Astral Step is on top of Ponglo, but now they've lost Empyrean. It's a 2 for 2, but they did get Quinn as well as Yawar. They'll take the life of Ponglo, as he's looking to just hide in the corner, but that's in plain sight, so that's really not going to work.
Yeah, pretty good there from Simply TOOBASED. You know, they got a couple good kills. They got some more int for their Silencers. He's up to 14 now, so building up further and further. If only they weren't 7k gold behind in the meantime, this would be looking interesting. Well, it's looking interesting regardless, but it's not looking particularly winnable at the moment. We'll see if they can... Oh, yeah. Styx is... He could maybe live here? No.
Tornado? No. All right. Well, it was close. Now he's going to go for Fleet. Sunstrike right down on him, and that might be a second the earn. Taking him out.
Hey, Milan's just styling right now. That Frostbite set up for the Sunstrike with Fate Bolt. Level 4 Frostbite is a really good spell to have on Rubik when you have Blink Dagger. It just makes it so easy to set up for the Invoker.
He's so farmed on this Rubik.
Insane cast range too, with the 4 points into Arcane Supremacy, so no problemo. Sunstrike scouting out. Well, looks like Quincy are also having some fun diving here. They're not going to chill.
Not looking to chill out at all, as they'll just keep the pressure on in the tier 2. They have an AK lead, but again, I feel like this game has definitely shown like it's still pretty close. Like they got the kill on Quinn. They took out Yawar in that last fight. I think Simply TOOBASED with maybe one decision to pull out of that fight quicker might have led to a better advantage coming through from that. They can still get it done.
Uh-oh. Lotus.
Missed the Timber Chain.
He's very tanky here, Kezu.
Aether Remnant. They're doing the damage, and 5 times 3 goes to Curly.
Okay. More int. We're going to keep track
16.
of the int. That, if anything will win them this game, it is that Silencer gets an enormous amount of intelligence. That is what we're looking at as needed here. Ollie is closing in on BKB on Silencer. He's level 12. Took the attack speed talent on 10, of course, so he is building toward that potential spike, but got to keep in mind, which is also what the panel was talking about, Silencer is atrocious at farming. And his CS just getting dwarfed by all 3 enemy cores. Void Spirit, the biggest, I guess the furthest behind par for the hero right now on the Dire, though, sitting at only 56 CS, minute 20. It's very, very low and just shows how much he got dominated in lane and has to just fight his way back instead of farming creeps.
Yeah, they haven't exactly had time to kind of chill out and farm, and I don't know if they're really in a situation where they can do something like that. They'll do the Smoke Moonlight Shadow combo to try and find somebody, but a perfect scan from Quincy crew. And allow Yawar to get out of dodge.
Yeah. Generally, if you smoke when your waves are this bad, it's very, very telegraphed what's going on. Quincy crew seem very aware. Like, they have creeps next or close to all 3 enemy towers, and nobody is showing pushing out those creeps, which is it's just a straight out tell of what's happening. So they're not going to get caught by this at all. They're going to finally offer up Kezo as a potential go, but it's with coverage. Missed the arrow, still in there.
From the Rubik. Rion hit by the Chakram. Timber Chain going forward with this Crystal Maiden. But the Lotus Orb is there. The Sunstrike will come down and kill off Empyrean.
Yeah, Kezu opting to Lotus the Frostbite instead of Lotusing it off, which I think is a nice play there. It just sets up a Sunstrike and gets them to kill no problem.
Yeah, the easy Sunstrike setup like you talked about before. Where is that neutral?
Good question. I'll go hunting. I'll try to find it.
Sunstrike Avalanche toss Yawar with another kill this time.
Oh, there. Oh, Yawar's going to find it. Oh, hello. That's a Vambrace. Nifty.
And he's going to use it.
Oh, Ponlo finds Void Spirit. Curly is in trouble. They don't have Global Silence because Silencer is dead. And they wouldn't
not going to help him anyways. That is a long-range arrow from Milan. And he's now taking Resonant Pulse instead of that arrow. But he's got Telekinesis. He'll use the Tumbler's Toy to catch up. Arrow doesn't find a target. And Ryoya will fall to Ponlo as they have a 12k lead at this point as Quinn's up and forward on Empyrean behind the tier 2 tower. And Milan, no fear in his eyes. Resonant Pulse once again. Kezu gets the kill there. 3 heroes down on the side is simply TOOBASED.
Now they're all constricted in their base. Really limited options here. Gotta just wait for everybody to respawn. Trying to fish an arrow, not gonna land. Wouldn't have mattered anyway. And Quincy crew, you don't have to take the tier 2 towers right now. Most importantly, get offensive vision out, keep map controlling, setting yourself up for the next fight. And if you do claim that, you're looking at potential tier 2 towers everywhere and a Roche, maybe even a high ground play. When you're this far ahead, minute 22. But again, I don't know if they realize just how far ahead they are. They definitely know they're well ahead. But maybe they wouldn't guess this much currently.
And they are ahead quite a bit. And with the pressure they're putting on simply TOOBASED, again, they can't roam around the map. And go back to the theory last time, it's Quincy crew just being like, I've got Park Place and I've got Boardwalk. What do you guys have over there? Oh, okay. Cool. The one railroad. Cool. You know. You got it.
Yeah, and once in a while they land on that railroad and Silencer gets 2 int, and that's the trade. So it's nice. You wish you had more railroads than that one, but that's where we're at right now. All right, smoke on smoke. Yawar. Actually, not smoke on smoke. It's just a Shadow Blade from Yawar, excuse me. We'll get Ravage.
Blink Ravage.
Arrow.
2-man Ravage, too. They've got the arrow, but the stolen arrow ends up hitting up on Ryoya. They still get the kill on Yawar. They've used the Global Silence. Kezu, Ponlo coming back into the fight on the other side. They look over at Curly. Roche kind of getting involved here. Chakram down. Fiend's Grip there. Curly gone. Arrow lands on a Kezu. But Ryoya, under the shroud of Moonlight Shadow, able to get away. So can Empyrean, at least for now. But now he's showing. The shroud is gone. The shroud has been taken. And so has his life. Double kill here for Quinn as he's on a mega kill streak. 10, 4, and 10.
Yeah, I mean, they used literally everything to get that tiny kill. So now they're paying the price. Quincy know that with all of that spent, they can just go and run at them however they fancy.
Bottom 2.
Yep, travels from Quinn. Ice Wall.
Ultra kill for Quinn?
Yep.
BKB now going after
Ponlo might die now.
Yeah.
I guarantee you I win this game. I guarantee.
Quinn gets the ultra kill. I think that might be a little bit more important. He might actually even get a Ravage if he was able to get up to our Rampage if he was able to get up top here, but unneeded. He'll still continue to push bottom.
Sure, he could have got it with Sunstrike, as is being pointed out here. That was a possibility to Sunstrike that Rampage, but he was opting to have his attention at bottom. Wants to push down this tower. Just get the job done. 15k up, minute 24. We were expecting this to be another absolute stomp from Quincy based on game number 1 in the draft, but I have to say I've been pleasantly surprised with what they've managed to string together from simply TOOBASED, but still definitely a level of quality below what Quincy are bringing to the table.
Quinn just continuing to use that Sunstrike to get kills all over the map. It doesn't feel fun when you can basically just get killed in an instant like that if you're on the side of simply TOOBASED. Bottom lane again. Perion spotted. Quinn in on this one again. Arrow would have hit if the Mirana was on the other team, but it did not find a landing target there. And Empyrean, one more shot is there for Quinn, who's now godlike.
It's the true silver lining when we start talking about how friendly fire would have helped. then it's tough times, yeah. And now, okay, so there was a bit of light for. That was a bright point here for simply TOOBASED. I want to say 15 minutes ago, where they were, keeping up, doing well, and now it's really been kicking into the next gear again for Quincy and kind of becoming reminiscent of last game. Now 20k up, minute 25. Still not at the 100% win expectancy though, so Gabe liked them more last game, but we're closing in on it.
Soon though. Royoya hit by the Sunstrike, Queen up on him, and he will place down that ice wall. Hunglo here to maybe snipe a kill, but maybe still can.
Oh,
he held off. He was gonna do it.
He canceled the brain snap there. He really wanted to.
Just in his soul.
I would have done that.
Felt it.
I would have brain snapped there.
It.
I would have.
Yeah.
Especially because it's Quinn. I would have just, no hesitation, definitely take that. But, Fondle's a good teammate, so. Ollie will TP out.
Pinged. Again, they're just pressured to stay inside their base and allow the net worth to continue to build. Getting close to that 1k per minute build on the net worth lead soon for Quincy crew. Don't worry about these green arrows coming out. As also Milan going for that act. So if he steals arrow and another stun, Milan might just be able to solo targets at will, or at least set it up long enough for Quinn to throw a Sunstrike in again.
Frostbite arrow, and he can probably kill Void Spirit or Maiden with a Sunstrike, or Mirana. I guess Silencer can always BKB off the bite, but yeah, the other 3 heroes are definitely killable with just the help of a Sunstrike. It's Roche time. Been waiting maybe a little bit too long for this Quincy. I think it's been theirs for quite some time, but they were having fun killing the enemy team instead. They will grab themselves an Aegis for Yawar, and maybe the call is, all right, guys, we're really far ahead. Let's get this done so we can focus our attention on next week. I was just gonna say next game, but I realized it's so far away still. Only 1v1 against Quinn. Very even match. Quinn wins with 90% health left.
Getting his hand raised as just continuing to dominate and get these 1v1 wins. Nobody can fight him. Nobody can take him out and take the title.
Not Mario. Is there an arrow?
Yeah.
No, just Sunstrike.
Sunstrike, Fiend's Grip though, and Aether Remnant comes down, but it's not in time to save this tide. Curly trying to go in, and Empyrean will fall. The Astral Steps were used already. The Deafening Blast lands from Quinn. He'll follow that up with an Ice Wall down, and GG will be called by simply TOOBASED as Quincy crew lock up the Series 2-0 in another one-sided affair.